Hello, welcome to a brand new Unsourced Wall unboxing. Today we're taking a look at the recently released MAFEX Steel from the Reign of the Superman story arc Action Comics and the Different Return of Superman. I just did a video on the Cyborg Superman release from MAFEX, which I thought was fantastic, even if the stand was a little bit loosey-goosey, but I did, add some crazy loops to the stand, thicken up the joints, all that, give it more friction, and the stand works perfectly now. So I'm really excited for Steel here. John Henry Irons, one of the iconic debuts of that character. All the Replacement Supermen were iconic in their own way. Have all the comics here, like you saw in the Cyborg Superman review. And this is the only one that MAFEX has announced other than Cyborg Superman. Of course, there's also the Eradicator and Superboy. They haven't announced those yet, but hopefully they come out soon because this looks fantastic and I can't wait to get it open. So let's do that and see what's going on inside here. Okay, so here we have him outside the box. Now, he has lots of similarities with Cyborg Superman. Of course, he comes with the standard MAFEX stand. I've already tied it up before this, so it works fine. In fact, it came a lot more stiff, a lot more rigid, a lot more functional than the Cyborg Superman stand did, which was very loose out of the box. This wasn't that loose out of the box, so I'm really grateful for that. I will say one thing though is, while I was able to finally fix Cyborg Superman stand and really make it a workable stand, one thing that it did, I think this probably didn't take into account, is this levitation post. The Cyborg Superman and this one both came with one where it kind of cradles the entire kind of cross section, so it lifts it up naturally. But this, as you can see, Steel comes with this giant bulky utility belt, and it gets in the way of having this fit in any way that is comfortable or is workable, because it'll be like this. It's very loose, so you have to use the more standard clamp that goes right around the upper chest section, and yeah, it lifts him up, but it's a lot less good looking. It's a lot less aesthetic, and it's a shame. And it also makes me wonder, what kind of stand would you really need for the flight effects to work? Because the stand post they have isn't big enough. So I guess if you would really need a giant stand post to make this look good. Of course, you can also do them horizontal, have him flying horizontally, and put these on there, which we'll look at later. But it's a shame that you can't put it with him going straight vertical, at least out of the box, because of course you can always buy another stand. But yeah, other than that, he comes with a little bit more accessories than Cyborg Superman did. Of course, he comes with this gigantic hammer, classic steel, and also two other interchangeable heads, one very angry, screaming in rage, and the other more of a stern, angry grimace. Although I do love his regular head, just a serious one, which I think looks pretty good. I think that's Steel to me. Steel was always a very serious character. Of the Replacement Supermen, one of the more responsible ones. He understands his duties, so a nice, natural, responsible look, I think, works really well. But let's get off the stand, because we're going to look at some of the other accessories anyway. And again, the stand is very small. One thing is that he comes with a very similar cape to Cyborg Superman. Pretty much the exact same cape. I think that the S is a little bit more dull than it was in Cyborg Superman, which I like. Steel, a lot more kind of gray. I think that fits the aesthetic. And he comes with movable shoulder pads for the articulation to get in the way, which I think is really neat. And yeah, good amount of posability. Of course, Cyborg Superman came with a swappable forearm, but Steel here is a full figure. No gimmicks like that. Yeah, great to pose and good looks. Got his gauntlet right there to shoot. That's really cool. Because we're gonna get that out of the way right now, let's just put the flame effects, the rocket ejector effects on his boots here. I think they actually look pretty neat. Yeah, they do. And let's go for a trifecta. Let's put him on the stand. Let's hope this works, because again, the cross section I think would really help here. But the utility belt is just so bulky that even the horizontal way doesn't look like it's going to work. But let's see. Yeah, no, this is perfect. The flame effects look amazing, and again, Steel's stand, even though it's the exact same stand, is a lot more rigid, a lot more form-fitting, and that's fantastic. I like it a lot. And of course, like a Cyber Superman, the neck and head clearances means that he can look straight forward while flying, and so you don't get any of those awkwardness where you have to like really sort of leverage it. It's great. I really enjoy that. Now he comes with 4 other pairs of hands, 2 gripping hands, 2 open palm hands, 2 slightly open hands, and the most open is palm hands. Again, other than fists, I don't know why else you would need anything other than the gripping hands, which are already kind of fist-like anyway. So you can just, if you wanted fists and you also wanted the, capability of holding the hammer, I don't know why you wouldn't just have these ones on as your default. Of course, you want to have like a flying motion, but something Steel isn't really all into the theatrics of flying. Hammer comes in 2 halves in the box, so you kind of connect it right there. It's a little loose at that post. If you want to glue it together, I don't see why you wouldn't, other than for like storage reasons. You might want to like be able to have the option of disconnecting it. But he holds the hammer very well, and he looks really cool holding it. Like, yeah, this is a Steel look. That's how it looks. Oh man, where the hammer connects does sag a little bit. That is a shame. You can really notice it up close too, and you might be able to notice it on camera. But if you angle it just enough, it doesn't sag that much, and it looks fantastic. But let's try out the other heads, and let's see if maybe my opinion changes on them. And yeah, it looks fantastic. But again, unless I'm having like an action scene or action diorama, I'm not really sure when I would use this. But it looks really good. It really captures that kind of power and energy and like, the rawness behind Steel in a really fun way. And let's try the more grimacing head. And one thing about MAFEX, and this is the first time I noticed this because obviously I didn't look at the Cyber Superman head, that the neck post is like at an angle. That's really weird. And obviously it's there to help with the horizontal upwards motion or look when they're flying, but I don't know, it is kind of tricky to get that head back on because it's at an angle. But yeah, grimacing head still looks really cool. Obviously the other hands are what they are. I don't have any use for them. For me, Steel's only going to be holding his hammer. Yeah, that's him. That's Steel. And again, I love the Replacement Supermen, so I really enjoy what they're doing with them. And wait a minute, the pouches on the utility belt are removable. That's nice. So does that mean that that's there so that the undercarriage, like this, does that mean that's there so that can have more purchase? Because that is, let's see, will that work? Because it does leave, very, a very ugly looking node there, or the pouches, whatever. So I'm guessing like you could, if you wanted, to use the more undercarriagey stand post there, and it still wouldn't give you enough room for the rocket fix though. So I might actually see if there's a compatible larger stand for this space. I don't want to get an entire stand. But I get, it's nice that they put some forethought into that, to make it so that you could work it, but it's just not that good looking either way. I would rather just keep the utility belt complete and just have them stand. But you know what? I am grateful for the rocket effects. I think they look amazing, and I think that they work a lot better than the effects did for Cyber Superman. And overall, I think this is a much better figure. I think that I like the complete list a lot more. There's a lot more gimmicks with the Cyborg Superman, but I think this captures Steel so much better. I think it does a really great job to Louise Simonson and Bog Nadome's and John K's creation that they introduced in the Man of Steel comic book series. And yeah, no, there's no flourishes. I love Cyber Superman, but the blue hair was a flourish. And I think this is just a more complete design that is more recognizable. Okay, and so that is Steel Superman, John Henry Irons, Steel as it's known nowadays, and I really enjoy it, and I really am excited to see what they do next. Again, I hope it's not too long before we see Eradicator or Superboy, and even if we don't get the full set, which would be a shame, I'm so glad to have at least these two represented, because like I mentioned, the Death Return of Superman is one of my favorite Superman stories. I love the Reign of Superman a lot, and I think that this is a fantastic representation of that character, and again of that entire saga in plastic form, and he's really cool. I might definitely gonna look into different stands that might work for this character a little bit better. This one still needs to be a little futzed around with, but he's really cool, and I really am so glad to have it. So let me know what you think. Are you excited about these releases? Did you pick up the Cyborg Superman? Are you picking up the Man of Steel here? And if you did, what do you think? Did it live up to your expectations? Let me know what you think below. And like, comment, subscribe, and see you again next time. Thank you for watching and have a great weekend.